Ever wondered, how much should I charge as a consultant? Now, deciding on your consulting rates can be confusing for both new consultants and veterans as well. If you've ever wanted to find out how much to charge for consulting in Australia, here are 4 strategies and an indication to how much the average consultant makes. Strategy number 1, double or triple your hourly salary-based wage. You can double or triple your hourly salary-based wage as a justification for your consulting fees. Simply take your hourly wage, including benefits, that you would earn if you were working for someone else on a salary basis. Then, just double or triple that amount. Many consultants in Australia choose a triple rate due to what they call the rule of thirds. When you apply the rule of thirds, 1/3 of your hourly rate goes to your salary, 1/3 goes to your expenses, and the other goes to administration and debt. It's also very easy to calculate. As an example, let's just say that you make $90,000 a year plus benefits, and you get paid 4 weeks of paid leave. So that's $90,000 salary plus $22,000 in benefits. Now, if we look at it over a 48-week period, because of your 4 weeks holiday, and we multiply it by about 40 hours a week, we come to a salary of about $112,000 per annum, and we divide that by the number of hours worked, which is roughly 1,920 hours. So 112,000 divided by 1,920 hours brings us to the hourly amount of $58.33. So should you choose to double your rate, your consulting rates will be about $120 per hour. That's $58.33 times by 2 equals $116.67. And then it's rounded up to $120. Now, we recommend rounding up to the nearest $5 or $10 multiple because, let's face it, $116.67 per hour just looks odd as a consulting rate. Now, if you choose to triple your hourly salary-based wage, your consulting rates will be about $175 per hour. So that's $58.33 times by 3 equals $174.99. Then, obviously, we round it up to the nearest $5, which takes us to $175 per hour. Now, how much should I charge as a consultant? Strategy number 2. This is known as the calculate a daily rate strategy. Now, if you'd like to set a daily rate for your consulting services, simply multiply the hours that you would like to work in a day by your hourly rate from the examples above. So, if your hourly rate is $175, and assuming that you'll be working an 8-hour day, your daily rate would be $1,400 per day. So that is $175 times 8 hours, which equals $1,400. Now, strategy number 3 is to calculate consulting rates per project. Now, to find out how much to charge for your consulting by project, some consultants estimate the number of hours they expect to work on them. Then they simply multiply that number by their hourly rate. But some consultants also calculate their project rates by applying the value the client takes from the consultant's advice. Now, here's a funny story about a Danish physicist, Niels Bohr, that brilliantly shows this idea. One day, a company's machine suddenly broke down, and the owner, who was an old friend of Niels Bohr, called him to get it fixed. Now, Mr. Bohr takes a look at the machine and draws an X on the side of the machine and says to the company's mechanic, "Hit it right there with a hammer." So the mechanic strikes the X on the side of the machine, and the machine just springs to life. Now, the owner was very grateful to Mr. Bohr. He generously thanked him, and he sent him on his way. Now, within a week or so, the owner gets a bill from Niels for $10,000. So he calls him up and demanded, "Niels, what's this $10,000 invoice for? I want some details, please. Put some details in this. What am I doing here? Why am I paying $10,000 for you to draw this X on the machine?" Mr. Bohr agreed, and some days later, the owner got a brand new invoice. And the invoice basically stated that the $10,000 was simply $1 being charged for drawing the X, and $9,999 was charged for knowing exactly where to draw the X. So, strategy number 4 is to charge market rates. The last strategy to know how much to charge for consulting is charging what everyone else in your industry is charging for. While it might be a bit silly, it actually does make a lot of sense. I mean, it boils down to what the industry will tolerate and what your competitors' rates are. Look at it this way. If you follow what most consultants in Australia are charging for their services, you're signaling to your potential clients that you are a qualified consultant that plays by the rules. Also, you're seeing to it that you get the standard consulting rate in your market, which, as you'll see below, is not that bad. So, how much do consultants charge in Australia? As of the 17th of August 2019, the average hourly rate for a management consultant in Australia is $85 an hour. A business consultant makes about $150 an hour, while a business process management consultant makes around $199 per hour. So below on this page, you'll actually see the average annual rates charged by consultants across Australia. And these come from PayScale. So regardless of how you calculate your consulting rates, make sure to use a consulting contract and agreement when it comes to your consulting services. This is important because you want to identify what services are included, the terms of payment, protect your intellectual property if applicable, and define your relationship with the business that you're working with. While it might seem a little bit challenging to come up with your consulting rates at first, it really is not that difficult once you've found a strategy that you believe in.